Hey, what's going on, guys? The UFC 299 pre-fight press conference just ended. And talk about press conference of the year. Talk about press conference of the decade. I mean, WWE couldn't have done a better job at a press conference than the UFC 299 Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera press conference. I'm kidding. This is the reason I stopped watching press conferences a couple years ago, really. In the last 2 years, I completely stopped watching them. You guys kind of got me back into it. By the way, let me know if you still want me to do these press conference recaps. They're very easy to do, so I don't mind doing them, but they are kind of corny, especially when you have to sit through an abomination of a 20-minute press conference featuring the entire main card of UFC 299. And I think actually in this video, I think I'm going to have to defend Sean O'Malley a little bit in this video, which actually really pisses me off because I think there's going to be a lot of people harping on something after this press conference that I don't think is necessarily true. So let's start off fighter by fighter. Petr Yan Song Yadong. Petr Yan Song Yadong both kind of talk about, Petr Yan says he's the best boxer. Song Yadong says, I look forward to proving I'm the best boxer. The questions from the media were atrocious for this press conference. Nothing really super notable between Petr Yan and Song Yadong. Really nothing really. Other than Song Yadong, I mean, the outfits at this press conference were crazy. I can't believe, I'm probably going to do it throughout this press conference because Sean O'Malley came out looking literally like a ghillie suit fucked a disco ball, which also fucked a pom-pom. That's what he literally came out dressed as, essentially. But we'll get to that in a minute. You have Song Yadong. I'm breaking down grown men's outfits. What have you guys done to me? Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel because I'm breaking down grown men's outfits here. Song Yadong looked like he was ready to head to the Sphere because the Backstreet Boys were putting on a performance and he was going to be a backup dancer. That was the most notable thing about Song Yadong, and also he kind of got into it with Petr Vera a little bit. Honestly, the highlight of the entire press conference was Song Yadong saying that he wants to fight Petr Vera, but the translations weren't that great, and then basically Cheeto told him, what, do you wipe your ass before you take a shit? Go win on Saturday first. Because essentially Song Yadong saying, I'd like that rematch even though I won. A lot of people thought it was a robbery. Cheeto says it's a robbery. And if Cheeto gets the belt, that's a good way for Song to transition into a title shot against Cheeto because of that history. But essentially Cheeto told him, you going to wipe your ass before you take a shit? I think that was the best line. I think Cheeto was the most entertaining fighter on the entire panel. Okay, next fight. You have Gilbert Burns versus Della Maddalena. Della Maddalena was not asked one single question the entire press conference unless I'm losing my memory. There was not a single question for Della Maddalena. Then you have Gilbert Burns, otherwise known as the fat lesbian, as Conor McGregor would say. Looked pretty skinny, looked like a skinny lesbian. I don't know what he was doing beforehand. Was he scissoring? What was he at Wingstop? What? I mean, is this guy really coming out with a dirty t-shirt? He had grease stains all over his t-shirt. What is Gilbert Burns doing? What is he doing? I don't understand it. I don't even remember what Gilbert Burns said. It was nothing interesting other than he likes fighting in Miami and, apparently that was pretty much it. Then you have Della Maddalena, never really asked anything, just kind of stood there and he had some jean outfit on. The outfits were crazy in this press conference. Then you have Kevin Hollland, MVP. MVP just happy to be there. MVP didn't say much, didn't embarrass himself, just said, I'm loving the energy, something along those lines. Then you have Kevin Hollland. Kevin Hollland, first off, is dressed like a fake cowboy. And he, basically implies, MVP's a can crusher. There's a reason people buy UFC pay-per-views and not Bellator pay-per-views. Essentially sitting on the skill level of Bellator fighters. Bellator doesn't exist anymore now that PFL, well, I guess they do still technically exist. But PFL purchased Bellator. And I'm not some huge Bellator shill or love Bellator, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But Kevin Hollland saying this actually really irked me a bit. Because Kevin Hollland is literally a quintessential Bellator fighter. Middle of the road, decent fighter, and that's it. Kevin Hollland should be at Bellator right now. Kevin Hollland should be at PFL. He just shows up for paychecks. That's all he does. That's all he does is show up for paychecks. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but not all that bad. But other than that, Kevin Hollland didn't have much to say. He just looked like a fake cowboy the entire time. Okay, next fight on the card, which is, that's the featured fight on the card. Co-main event. Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Oh, it's going to be a war, boys. This is going to be a war. Can't wait for this war. That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm surprised Dustin didn't plug his hot sauce. That's it. He likes fighting in Miami. Benoit Saint-Denis looking forward to a war on Saturday. Dustin Poirier looking for a war on Saturday. Dustin Poirier dressed kind of like a Vice City character a little bit. Looked like he was crying a little bit at the end. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe I'm just imagining that. He did have the OG haircut, OG haircut, and kind of looked younger. Looked a little bit thinner too, or just maybe not as thick, pause. But really nothing between Dustin Poirier and Benoit Saint-Denis. Then you get to the main event. You have Sean O'Malley, Marlon Chito Vera. Marlon Vera got the majority of the questions, and majority of them were in Spanish with like half translations. And essentially Marlon Vera just said, somebody asked him, the media asked him, what do you think about Sean O'Malley saying that the first fight was luck and it was a fluke? And basically Chito Vera said, I make my own luck. I made that happen essentially. And then they asked him about the DMs. Apparently Marlon Vera said there were some DMs, and they asked Sean O'Malley, and Sean O'Malley's like, maybe I'll tweet them out later. I'm not going to release them. Sean O'Malley, I'm going to shit on him a bit, but then I'm going to defend Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, his entire personality is based on his tattoos, his hair color, and his outfit. And man, is he a cornball. I mean, seriously, he is a cornball. The UFC's just trying to attract a young audience, and they think Sean O'Malley is the guy to do it. Yeah, I'm sure all those 15-year-old potheads who have marijuana leaf tube socks, they're flying off the shelves. I'm sure they're buying the pay-per-views. They're not. And Sean O'Malley really had nothing interesting to say at this press conference. The first question that he was asked was hilarious because the press conference, the crowd was going crazy saying, Chito, Chito, Chito. And O'Malley's just sitting there with his little Cyclops type glasses on. And, oh, by the way, I forgot this. Well, let's jump over to Dana White. Dana White talks about, this is a $13 million gate, and we beat our record from before, and the crowd, this is the most electrifying press conference I've ever been to. The crowd's going wild. Hell yeah, we paid bundles for these tickets. What a weird thing to cheer, Dana White's screaming it like he's just liberated somebody, or he's won an election, or something like that, and the crowd's going wild, and they're like, yes, hell yeah, $13 million gate. The fighters are being paid pennies, but $13 million gate. Hell yeah, brother. That's essentially what we got from Dana. But back to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, like, he was so forgettable in this press conference. The only thing that Sean O'Malley said that was even remotely memorable was a clearly pre-scripted line. He wrote this down before he got out there. Before he went out there, he was looking in the mirror. He said, you got this. You got who's good looking? You're good looking. Who's a tough guy? Who's a good shit talker? You're a good shit talker. That's what O'Malley did. He came out with a pre-scripted line, and I actually typed this out because it was so corny. There's no way I could remember it without reading. Chito's a fucking piñata. Petr Yan's one fight away from bare knuckle boxing, and Merab's nose is more crooked than Joe Biden. Let's fucking go. A little bit of crowd applause, but really nothing. First off, now my voice is cracking here. How dare he make fun of somebody's crooked nose with Jack Della Maddalena sitting on stage? Jack Della Maddalena would spark Sean O'Malley out cold in a second. So how dare him make fun of Merab's crooked nose? But this was just corny, and it just shows the lack of charisma from Sean O'Malley. It shows the lack of charisma, and it's crazy to me. I've been so adamant about Sean O'Malley for literally years, since the beginning of my channel, how Sean O'Malley doesn't have any good trash talk. Not that I care about it that much. We'll get to that in a second. But Sean O'Malley's not a star. And everyone's gone against him. He said, Joey, Sean O'Malley's on a rocket to superstardom and this and that. This press conference was a complete dud. Complete dud. Couldn't negate. The people who enjoy press conferences, they didn't enjoy this at all. I would never watch this press conference if I didn't have a channel. Sean O'Malley is not this vocal, shit-talking, guy that's going to generate a lot of headlines from press conferences. I mean, he literally, everything he said was forgettable. And I'm going to knock Chito out, get comfortable. I'm going to knock you out. And it was just almost dead silent. And then honestly, when you went to Chito, after you went to O'Malley initially, they went to Chito, the crowd was chanting Chito sucks, Chito sucks, Chito sucks. And so the crowd was kind of bipolar. They were for O'Malley and they were against O'Malley. They were for Chito, against Chito. Chito got the majority of the questions. But Sean O'Malley, the lack of charisma, the lack of, just overall ability to string just a little bit of trash talk together. Just a little. I mean, who would have thought the funniest thing Sean O'Malley ever said was when he told Sean Strickland, at least my dad didn't fuck me. That's the funniest thing he ever said. was that. And I know Sean Strickland went on a tour afterwards crying, went on Theo Von's podcast and sobbed his eyes out. That's the best line O'Malley ever had. And he came up with that on the top of his head, I think. But he's scripting Cheetos a piñata. Petr Yan's one fight away from bare knuckle. What does that say about you? Because you got a robbery win over Petr Yan. A brutal robbery win over Petr Yan. So what does that say about you? And then Marav's nose is more crooked than Joe Biden. Oh my God, that's so good. That's so good, man. You're going to get on Dana's good side with that. You're going to get along with his political sycophancy for Donald Trump. I was waiting for a media member to say, hey, Dana, I heard Kid Rock and Donald Trump is going to be there Saturday night. What do you think the vibes are going to be like? What do you think the vibes are going to be like, Dana? That's what I was waiting for. But Sean O'Malley, zero charisma. Press conference, trash talk, absolutely horrific. This is just my analysis of the press conference. And the reason I'm bringing this up, one, because it's pertinent to make this video. People want to know, I guess. Let me know again if you want me to continue to do these videos after press conferences, even though these are painstaking almost, but they're easy to make. They're easy to make, so I'll continue to make them if you guys enjoy them. But I just love how well my take of Sean O'Malley's not a star, Sean O'Malley's not drawing pay-per-views, Sean O'Malley is not some massive superstar or on the verge of superstardom. I love how well that take is aging, because what you have with Dana White in the UFC is the illusory truth effect. They just say it over and over and over again, and they pray that you eventually believe it's true, and then you have FOMO. Sean O'Malley's not going to be a star. He is a star. I made a video about this recently. I'll tag it, and I'll tag my entire playlist down in the description, as well as the video about Sean O'Malley not drawing pay-per-views. Now, I personally don't care that Sean O'Malley's not a draw. I personally don't care that he's not a star. But it's relevant to the analysis of what people want to know and what people are talking about. And I've been breaking that down for literally 2.5 years now. Almost 3 years. The channel's almost 3 years old. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I've been breaking it down. And Dana White and the UFC and the media, what they do is they try to build up certain fighters. Dana White has his eye on certain guys and likes to try to build them up. And the media goes along with it because at the end of the day, the media wants to build these guys up because it makes their job, have better job security. It gets them more attention, and overall, it puts money in their pocket, directly, indirectly, whatever you want to call it. It puts money in the media's pockets, the more quote-unquote stars they have. Sean O'Malley is not a star, but I will defend him here because these press conferences don't need to be WWE style. I could do with never watching another UFC press conference again in my life. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed a UFC press conference. The fans that are crying and whining, and again, I know I just broke down that Sean O'Malley has no charisma. I broke down that Sean O'Malley can't talk. That's just because it's a topic of conversation. I don't personally care. All I care is, can you fight at a high level? Are you active? That's it. That's really all I care about when it comes to a fighter. Are you exciting? You know, that's another layer of it. But you're going to have these WWE fans, and I bet you, I'm already calling it right now, and I called this in my live stream. I already bet there's some media member, not really media member, not as much media members. I guarantee there's going to be like the MMA Twitter community and the YouTube, I almost said YouTube Twitter community. There's going to be the MMA Twitter community and the MMA YouTube community, content creator community. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be like, Sean O'Malley is so boring and he has no charisma. And I know I said some of these same things, but they're going to be angry about it because at the end of the day, again, it's in their best interest to have somebody like a Conor McGregor, who Sean O'Malley compares himself to, and Sean O'Malley's not living up to that yet. So there's going to be people chronically complaining like, Sean O'Malley's nobody cares about him, and he's not a pay-per-view draw just because there was no WWE moment. The best moment we got, honestly, was after they went off stage for the stare downs. Yan and O'Malley were talking, and then they separated them. And, you know, that's pretty much the best moment we got of the whole press conference. That was it. I mean, Benoit Saint-Denis, Dustin Poirier, basically nothing. Jack Della Maddalena, MVP, and Kevin Hollland, essentially nothing. Song Yadong and Petr Yan a little bit. And then you didn't have really anything to do with Petr Yan and O'Malley. I don't think they really said anything to each other. And then you had Chito Vera basically just answering questions in Spanish the entire time. You know, and they translated them, but it was nothing super important. Like, oh, I'm going to go out there and win the fight. I'm happy for this opportunity. That's it. That's it. I mean, the most memorable thing are the outfits, as corny as that sounds. I mean, the fact that Gilbert Burns, like, I don't know what he ate, something greasy, stopped at Wingstop on the way in and then wiped his fingers all over his shirt and then wore it anyway. And it's like 5 sizes too big. And then you got Sean O'Malley literally dressed like a ghillie suit, fucked a disco ball. I mean, what the hell? And then he's got the Cyclops glasses on. This dude's entire personality is based on his outfit and his tattoos and his hairstyle. So it's corny. I don't care because Sean O'Malley can become a star. Let me get to that before we end it. I don't want to make this video too long. Sean O'Malley can become a star. He's got an exciting fight style, and he is an elite fighter, okay? I know people say, oh, Joey, you hate on Sean O'Malley. He's an elite fighter, and he has an aesthetically pleasing fight style. All he has to do is continue to win. He doesn't have to be a WWE mouthpiece. He doesn't have to be a Conor McGregor. All he has to do is continue to win, and he doesn't even have to be exciting. George St. Pierre, for most casual fans, not for me personally, they would say he's boring as hell. He was very popular. Anderson Silva, before, at a certain point in his career, was kind of considered boring. Blew up. I know in the grand scheme of things, he's super exciting. But the point I'm making is you don't have to be some WWE guy. You don't have to be Anthony Smith. Booker T doing a spin-a-rooney to, get attention. If Sean O'Malley can continue to win, people are going to want to see him lose. Therefore, his drawing power and his star power and his exposure, event after event, will elevate his star power. All he has to do is continue to win, because I'm telling you, the charisma isn't coming. That's something you're born with. The charisma is not coming for Sean O'Malley. So let's pump the brakes on saying he'll never be a star. I think he can be a star. It's going to matter of getting through Chito Vera. Chito Vera did beat him a couple years ago. Marlon Chito Vera in the first fight back at UFC 252 brutally chopped the legs, shucked him to the ground, and then flash KO'd him with brutal ground and pound elbows, and then O'Malley was stretchered out of the cage with no serious injuries. So if he gets this win over Marlon Vera, that's kind of erasing that loss in a way. And then he's got Merab in front of him next. And if he can get through Merab, the Merab fight will be a massive fight. I think Merab is becoming pretty popular. I think fans are starting to kind of come around to Merab. I think that's a huge fight. Stylistically, it's super entertaining. So I think if Sean O'Malley can go through Chito, go through Merab, I think he's already kind of a low-tier draw, as people say nowadays, but the word's been perverted by the MMA community. If he goes through those two guys, I think he's going to be kind of like a mid-tier draw after that point. If he can beat Merab, beat Chito Vera impressively, I think he will. But overall, just shit press conference. O'Malley dressed like an embarrassment. Kevin Hollland dressed like an embarrassment. Song Yadong looked like a Backstreet Boy backup dancer. And I think that was it. I don't remember. And I'm looking at, I have a couple notes here about, it was just that one cringy line from O'Malley that he pre-scripted. Dude's writing down lines and then just staring off into the crowd as the crowd chants and cheers for Chito. And then they change to cheer for O'Malley. And yeah, overall, didn't enjoy the press conference. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What did you think of the presser? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.